Welcome to a deep dive into the world of vaccines and contagious diseases. For decades, we've been taught that vaccines are the heroes responsible for eradicating deadly illnesses. But what if the real story is more complex? Today, we'll explore the facts behind these medical beliefs, question the narratives we've grown up with, and examine the data that challenges the mainstream perspective. We'll look at government statistics, scientific studies, and real-life examples to uncover what truly led to the decline of contagious diseases. Get ready for a journey that may change how you view health, medicine, and the power of questioning established beliefs. Medicine and vaccines are deeply woven into a belief system. From childhood, we're taught that vaccines are safe, effective, and have saved countless lives. Doctors learn this in medical school, reinforcing the idea that vaccines are the ultimate solution. But what happens when facts don't align with these beliefs? Often, inconvenient data is ignored, censored, or banned. The power of belief, especially when backed by monetary incentives, can overshadow the pursuit of truth. In this scene, we'll explore how beliefs shape our understanding of health and why questioning them is essential for real progress. Have you ever tried to discuss vaccines critically on social media? Mentioning vaccine and bad in the same sentence can quickly lead to account freezes or content removal. Even reaching out to news channels about unanswered questions often results in being ignored. This widespread censorship creates an environment where only one narrative is allowed, making it difficult for parents and concerned individuals to access balanced information. Suppression of dissenting voices raises important questions about transparency and freedom of speech in health discussions. Many parents assume their pediatricians are experts on vaccines, but most doctors have limited knowledge about how vaccines are made or their ingredients. Questions about the vaccine adverse events reporting system often reveal gaps in understanding. Earaches, convulsions, and autism after vaccination are frequently dismissed as coincidences, simply because that's what doctors are taught. This reliance on belief, rather than factual knowledge, highlights the need for more transparency and education within the medical community. Parents are taught to trust doctors and medical authorities, believing they always recommend what's safe and beneficial. However, this trust is often based on belief, not facts. When financial incentives support a belief system, and that system in turn supports those incentives, it creates a powerful cycle. Health, freedom, and the ability to ask questions can be sacrificed in the process. Today, it's crucial to distinguish between belief and evidence, especially when it comes to decisions affecting our children's health. Government data from the National Vital Statistics System reveals a surprising trend. Rates of death from contagious diseases dropped significantly before vaccines were introduced. Overseen by the CDC, this system tracks births and deaths across the United States. Many who examine this data realize that improvements in sanitation, hygiene, and clean drinking water, not vaccines, were the primary drivers of disease reduction. The medical profession often takes credit for these declines, but the numbers tell a different story. Looking at historical graphs, we see that diseases like measles, pertussis, diphtheria, polio, typhoid, and scarlet fever all declined at similar rates and times. This pattern correlates with improvements in sanitation, hygiene, and access to clean water, especially in urban areas. The decline in mortality from these diseases tracked closely with the decrease in homes lacking indoor plumbing. These findings challenge the narrative that vaccines were solely responsible for eliminating contagious diseases. When we examine the data for multiple diseases together, the evidence becomes even clearer. Scarlet fever and typhoid, for example, disappeared without any vaccine intervention. The simultaneous decline of several diseases points to environmental and societal changes, not medical interventions, as the main cause. This scene highlights the importance of looking at broader trends and questioning the attribution of disease reduction solely to vaccines. Today, children receive far more vaccines than previous generations. By age 6, a child may get 50 doses of 14 vaccines, and by age 18, 69 doses of 16 vaccines. Parents born in the 1960s or 1970s received about half as many. The CDC schedule is extensive, and the math behind it can be checked by multiplying doses by the number of individual vaccines. This dramatic increase raises questions about necessity, safety, and long-term effects. Vaccines contain a variety of ingredients, including antigens, substrates, and excipients. Antigens are foreign substances that trigger an immune response. According to the CDC, a child may be exposed to up to 320 antigens by age 2. Vaccines are grown on animal and human cells, and parts of these cells often end up in the final product. Excipients, such as preservatives and stabilizers, are added to improve stability and effectiveness. Understanding these components is crucial for informed decision-making. Some vaccines contain toxic substances like mercury and aluminum. Traditional toxicology assumes the dose makes the poison, but modern research shows even small doses can be dangerous, especially for developing brains and nervous systems. Studies have linked low levels of mercury and aluminum to neurodevelopmental disorders, autoimmune diseases, and long-term health consequences. This challenges the safety standards used to protect public health and calls for more rigorous evaluation of vaccine ingredients. Most diseases result from a complex interaction between genetics and environmental factors. Vaccines can trigger adverse reactions based on individual genetic susceptibility. Some children may experience seizures, neurological disabilities, or autoimmune diseases after vaccination. The Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System, VAERS, documents thousands of cases, but only a small fraction are formally investigated. Understanding the interplay between genetics and environment is key to assessing vaccine risks. Vaccine manufacturers are protected from liability by the National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act, NCVIA, of 1986. This law shields them from lawsuits related to unavoidable side effects, removing the incentive to improve vaccine designs. The Supreme Court decision in Brucewitz v. Wyeth confirmed that manufacturers cannot be sued for failing to update vaccines with safer versions. Unlike other industries, vaccine makers do not have to compensate victims when their products cause harm. This unique legal framework has profound implications for safety and accountability. The government has paid over $4 billion to families whose children were injured by vaccines, but getting compensated is difficult. The Vaccine Injury Compensation Program is administered by the Department of Health and Human Services, where the government acts as defendant, judge, and jury. The rules of evidence do not apply, and most cases are underreported. Studies show that fewer than 1% of vaccine adverse events are reported to VAERS, highlighting the need for a more robust system. Vaccines have been linked to autoimmune diseases such as arthritis, Guillain-Barré syndrome, lupus, and multiple sclerosis. Government reports and scientific studies acknowledge these connections, and rates of autoimmune diseases have skyrocketed in recent decades. Environmental factors, including exposure to toxins and infections, are believed to play a major role. With 50 million Americans affected by autoimmune diseases, understanding the triggers is more important than ever. Measles is often portrayed as a deadly threat, but historical data shows it was considered a self-limiting infection with low fatality. Complications like diarrhea, ear infections, and pneumonia are rare, and the death rate among children is now 0 in the U.S. Despite this, the CDC continues to use outdated data to justify vaccine mandates. Understanding the true risks of measles helps put vaccine decisions into perspective. Manufacturers list numerous potential side effects for vaccines, including neurological disorders, autoimmune diseases, and even death. Vaccines do not always prevent disease. Outbreaks can occur among vaccinated individuals. For example, measles cases have been reported in people who received the vaccine, and the HPV vaccine was not tested for cancer prevention. These realities highlight the need for honest discussions about vaccine effectiveness and safety. Live attenuated vaccines can cause virus shedding, meaning vaccinated individuals may spread the virus to others. This phenomenon is documented for measles, flu, rubella, chickenpox, rotavirus, smallpox, and shingles vaccines. Shedding poses risks to vulnerable populations, including pregnant women, newborns, and immunocompromised individuals. Understanding vaccine shedding is essential for informed public health policies. The United States has one of the highest infant mortality rates among industrialized countries, despite having the most extensive vaccine schedule for infants. Japan and Finland, with fewer vaccine mandates, have lower infant mortality rates. Within the U.S., Mississippi has the highest vaccination rate and the highest infant death rate. These correlations raise important questions about the relationship between vaccination and infant health outcomes. Studies comparing vaccinated and unvaccinated children reveal striking differences. Vaccinated kids have higher rates of autism, allergies, earaches, and learning disabilities. Some studies found increased risk of respiratory infections and even higher death rates among vaccinated infants. Despite these findings, the CDC has not conducted comprehensive studies on health outcomes for unvaccinated children. This lack of research underscores the need for more independent investigations. Global vaccine market is worth billions, with companies like Merck making billions from single vaccines. Regulatory agencies, including the FDA and CDC, receive funding from vaccine manufacturers and hold patents on vaccines. Advisory committee members often have financial ties to pharmaceutical companies, raising concerns about conflicts of interest. These financial relationships influence policy decisions and public trust in vaccine safety. As we've seen, the story of vaccines and disease reduction is far more nuanced than commonly believed. Government data, scientific studies, and real-world outcomes challenge the narrative that vaccines alone are responsible for eliminating contagious diseases. Legal protections, financial incentives, and conflicts of interest further complicate the picture. It's essential to question established beliefs, seek transparency, and demand rigorous research to ensure the health and safety of future generations.
Welcome. Today I'll show you exactly how to join Beautique and make your first purchase. I'll guide you through every step, from choosing your account type to completing your order. Start by opening the main menu to explore our mission and the products section. You can join as a customer for rewards or as a member to start your own business. The sign-up form is straightforward. Just enter your contact details and shipping information. Members will also provide a few extra details to set up their independent distributorship. Once registered, browse our full catalog and select the high-quality products you'd like to try. Once logged in, simply find your favorite products, add them to your cart, and click Checkout Now to complete your order. You're now ready to start your journey with Beautique. We're excited to have you with us.